With the upcoming release of Thor Love and Thunder, I'm going to be looking at 5 reasons for why this movie could be great. At number 1 is Taika Waititi, and he came in at a very important time for this franchise, I would say. After the first 2 Thors, I feel like it needed to go into a new direction, as the tone of the first 2 Thors, especially the first one, was very serious, very Shakespearean, and it led into the second one as well. However, I don't feel like the first 2 Thor movies really work. I feel like they're a bit more dull and a bit slower and a bit more boring compared to the rest of the MCU at that time. As Taika Waititi was able to change the tone, change the vibe of the Thor franchise from that very serious to a bit more comedical. And you can also see that through Chris Hemsworth's character from the first Thor throughout the whole MCU journey leading up to Thor Ragnarok. As his character did change throughout. There was more jokes, there was more colour to the movies, and I felt like the movie just worked better in general. And coming from the back of Thor Ragnarok, going into Thor Love and Thunder, I feel like Taika Waititi will give the same sort of energy and same sort of style movie that he did in Thor Ragnarok, and just enhancing that. And more of what we got in Thor Ragnarok, for me, that will work for the better. We'll get more jokes, the storyline will be great as well, and with him just leveling it up a bit. However, I do know some people did have problems with Thor Ragnarok, as at some point it did take away some of the serious parts for humour and to add in humour. However, it didn't concern me as much, and I thought his direction and how he took that Thor character and that direction the Thor franchise was going, and where he took it from the first Thor to Thor Ragnarok and now moving into Thor Love and Thunder, that's one reason why I think this movie could be good. At number 2 is Thor the God Butcher, and I think this has the potential to be a really top tier Marvel villain. From having Christian Bale play Thor the God Butcher to the origins of him as well, knowing that he's out there trying to kill the different gods, and he has quite an interesting origin story which I hope they go into quite a bit in this new movie, explaining how he got to where he was. However, seeing Christian Bale back playing a superhero character, even though it's a villain this time, that's really exciting. It's got me even more excited for this movie coming out. And I know in the past the MCU has had a lot of villain problems in not developing the villains enough, or the villains having the same powers as the heroes. And if done right, I feel like this has the potential to be out there with one of the better villains in the MCU, and will be a good opponent for Thor in this upcoming film. Also, I feel like the look they gave Thor the God Butcher is really good. I know it's been a bit controversial on the internet, as it doesn't look 100% comic book accurate, but Taika Waititi sort of explained why he went with that, but I feel like the look works well, so hopefully this is going to be another good MCU villain, so that's the second reason why I think this movie could be great. The third reason is Jane Foster's return. And ever since they announced the return of Jane Foster many years back, coming into the new Thor movie, I was intrigued to see how they were bringing her back and how they would fit back into the movie. And we haven't seen Jane Foster since Thor the Dark World, but we've heard of Thor talking about her, but she hasn't been in any of the movies. And we've seen the teaser of her in the trailer with Mjolnir, so bringing back Jane Foster as Mighty Thor, I feel will work, as her and Chris Hemsworth, I feel like in the other 2, or in the first 2 Thor movies, worked quite well together as a pairing, and they had on-screen chemistry, so I feel like they can carry that on again into the new Thor as well, and it will be interesting to see where they end these 2 characters off at the end of this movie. Moving into the 4th reason, and that's the Guardians of the Galaxy. Even though I don't think the Guardians of the Galaxy will be in the majority of the movie, I feel like they'll just be there at the start. Having them before again will be great, as during the Infinity War and Endgame, I feel that was a really good how they were able to integrate Thor into the Guardians of the Galaxy and have them as the Guardians of the Galaxy, as he was able to seamlessly enter the group without feeling like an odd addition. Especially in Infinity War, his relationship with Rocket and Groot was really good, and I thought whenever they were doing their quest in Infinity War, that worked really well. And then coming to the end of Endgame, when Peter Quill and Thor are having their little banter, having their jokes going back and forth, seeing where they're going to go off next and how they're involved in this movie, and how that leads into the next Guardians of the Galaxy, as Thor is meant to be, from the rumours, in Guardians of the Galaxy. So how how they lead off from this movie into the next one as well. That'll be interesting, and that's the fourth reason why I think Thor could be great. And the fifth and final one, but probably the most important one, is Thor's journey. And I say that because from the end of Thor Ragnarok to Endgame, it's been quite quick in how we've seen Thor's life change, in the sense that we got Hela coming back, and then we got Odin dying, Loki dying, we got Heimdall dying, and Thor losing an eye, and that happened quite quickly. As Thor Ragnarok to Avengers Infinity War, that came out all in a quick space. So all that happened all at once to where we get for an Endgame, and we see how he is at that point. We see how upset, how much of a state he is at that point, and he has nothing else to lose, as he states in the movies. And now that he's with the Guardians of the Galaxy, he's given Valkyrie the throne to be the king of Asgard, and now it will be interesting to see where they lead off with Thor now, knowing that he hasn't got the responsibilities of being the king of Asgard. We know he's going with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I want to see how his journey and how his crest leads out next, and seeing where his mind's at, since everyone that he's loved is gone, and now that he's more or less has to be by himself, and he's with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And we see a bit of that through the trailers, when he was saying about, in the earlier parts of the trailers, giving it up and just wanted to see what's happening in his life. Seeing how Thor ends up bouncing back from all those tragic events happening. Those are my 5 reasons why I think this movie could be great. Let me know down below if you agree with me, if you disagree, if there's any other reason why you think this movie could really work. And thank you for watching.